Hildesheim is in Lower Saxony, located about 30 kilometers south of Hanover, on a land area of 93 square kilometers, and is one of the oldest cities in the north of Germany. The main attractions in Hildesheim are the beautiful Marktplatz and the Romanesque churches, and of course the half-timbered buildings. The 13th century marketplace of Hildesheim started out with just about 5,000 inhabitants, but when it obtained city rights in 1249, it became one of the biggest cities in northern Germany. The clergy ruled Hildesheim for 4 centuries before a city hall was built and the citizens gained some influence and independence. A war between the citizens and their bishop went on from 1519 to 1523, eventually making Hildesheim Protestant in 1542, while only the cathedral and a few other buildings remained in imperial Catholic hands, including several villages around the city. The city suffered severe damage by air raids in 1945, when about a quarter of all the houses were completely destroyed, about 50% damaged, and only about a quarter remained intact. A reconstruction of the historic center and major churches began in 1980s, which later put the city on the UNESCO map of World Heritage Sites. One place you can't miss is the half-timbered building, the Butchers' Guild Hall. It was originally built in 1529 and destroyed in 1945. The reconstruction took 2 years and was completed in 1989. Today the building houses a restaurant and the city museum. You will be fascinated by the facade, which is elaborately decorated with the colorful paintings and German proverbs. Walk around the square and enjoy the ancient architecture, including the Temple House. It is a late Gothic 14th century patrician house, which today is the Tourist Information Office. And then there's Romanesque churches, which is a unique example of a turn-in architecture, built from 1010 to 1022, the St. Michael's Church, and the Romanesque St. Mary's Catholic Cathedral. Built in the 9th century, it was almost completely destroyed in 1945 and reconstructed soon after the war. It is also listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985. Walk around the courtyard of the cloisters to the east of the church. You will come to see the famous 1,000-year-old rose bush, which claims to be the world's oldest living rose. According to the legend, in 1815 AD, Ludwig de Frome, or Louis the Pious, a son of the Charlemagne, was hunting in the area when he lost his personal reliquary. He later found it stuck in a rose bush, but was unable to remove it. Louis saw this as a sign from heaven and had a chapel erected. A bishopric soon followed. It was said that the rose bush had burned to ashes with most of the cathedral after the air raid of 1945, but miraculously was found growing again a few weeks later and continues to flourish to this day on the wall of the cathedral apse. Passing through fields and farms in Hildesheim, you will see quite a number of windmills and bioplants around. It seems that the share of the electricity produced from renewable energy in Germany has increased significantly and will continue to be so. And so, to shed light on this curiosity, I had a great honor to visit the Schultze family, who inherited and owns 75 hectares of farmland in Hohen-Eggelsen and is a member of 6 cooperatives in machining, contracting, transporting and growing sugar beet, potato, maize silage, rapeseeds and winter wheat. Apart from all this, there are also 3 wind turbines operating on Mr. Schultze's land. Eberhard Schultze said the soil in this area is like flower pot soil, high in loam and good humus. The land is flat and has no stones. The soil holds water very well, which enabled the plants to grow even during dry periods. The area had been cultivated for 7,000 years, and yes, agriculture is that old. Mr. Schultze said that after Chernobyl and Fukushima incidents, the German population is against nuclear power, but Germany has almost none of its own energy resources. What then is the solution when the industries depend on a lot of energy? In order to give people initiative and motivation to develop sources of energy other than oil, coal and nuclear energy, the German government supports the alternatives and has in time established the Renewable Energy Law. From Hildesheim we took a day trip to another beautiful historic town in Lower Saxony, Goslar. This town is located on the northwestern slopes of the Harz mountain range. It is also one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Goslar was established in 922 AD, with earlier settlements dating as far back as pre-Roman times. The town owes its name and wealth to the rich mines of silver, lead and copper in the Rummelsburg just south of town. The attractions are the Romanesque churches and the medieval Kaiserpfalz or the Imperial Palace, with ancient city gates and ramparts that are must-see for travelers coming here. Walking around you will be surrounded by timber-framed gilt houses with black slate tiled roofs, of which there are more than 1,000 in this town. And if you keep an eye out, you will discover many interesting places, including this Siemens house on Schreiberstrasse 12, the ancestral home of the Siemens family that later founded the Siemens industrial giant. There are many things to see in Goslar, but just for a short visit, you can get your fill at the famous marketplace. And if you're lucky, you might see a witch or two on the witch burning day. It was told that the last ones were burnt on the stake in 1657 AD. These tales perhaps may have been brought to life by Goethe when he visited the Brocken 3 times. The last one in 1784, and crystallized the witch tales in his well-known legend Faust. Finally, we come to Quedlinburg. Situated in a hilly region to the north of the Harz Mountains, the Villa Quedlinburg was first mentioned in 922 in an official document of Henry I the Fowler, who was elected German king in 919. He built a castle on what became known as the Castle Hill or Burgberg, one of the 2 sandstone hills that overlook the Harz Valley, and this became one of his favorite residences. The collegiate church of Saint Servatius is one of the masterpieces of the Romanesque architecture. Not only does it hold the graves of the first German royal couple, but also houses many ancient church treasures. Quedlinburg, in the land of Sachsen-Anhalt, was the capital of the East Franconian German Empire at the time of the Saxonian-Ottonian ruling dynasty. It has been a prosperous trading town since the Middle Ages. It is an exceptional example of a medieval European town because of the number and high quality of the timber-framed buildings that were painstakingly restored many years after the wars ended. to Hildesheim for some culture and concerts. Here, residents and visitors alike can always find their favorite cup of tea in the arts world.